Hey Bacon Nation fam, it's your boy Lord BLT here, back again to bring you guys an exciting new video, and I'm super stoked about it because I'm going to be covering some of my favorite type of Pokemon, so I figured I'd give you a list of my 10 favorites and their evolutions. So this is my top 10 favorite water type Pokemon. Number 10. Oshawott, the Sea Otter Pokemon. It fights using the Scout Chop on its stomach in response to an attack, and it retaliates immediately by slashing, and Oshawott is an adorable Pokemon and was hilarious to see in the anime. Duat, the Discipline Pokemon. As a result of strict training, each Duat learns different forms for using the Scout Chops, and Duat is an amazing Pokemon because it's like a mini Samurai Otter, and the way it fights with its Scout Chops is just really something to see. Now on the other hand, its evolution into Samurott is a different story. I don't like Samurott at all, and its design just doesn't make any sense. If you ask me, it's too far of a change. But if you like Samurott, more power to you. Number 9. Wooper, the Waterfish Pokemon. Wooper usually lives in water, however it occasionally comes out onto land in search of food, and on land it coats its body with a gooey toxic film. I love how this Pokemon looks like an Oshawott, and then its evolution into Quagsire. Quagsire is also classified as the Waterfish Pokemon and hunts for food by leaving its mouth wide open in water and waiting for its prey to blunder in unaware. Because the Pokemon does not move, it does not get very hungry. And this thing has some pretty good bulk, and having that extra ground typing makes it immune to electric attacks, which makes this thing's only weakness is grass types. So if you run this Pokemon, make sure you get some great coverage. Other than that, Quagsire can dish out a devastating earthquake, which a lot of common Pokemon are pretty frail to. Number 8. Buizel, the Sea Weasel Pokemon. It swims by rotating its two tails like a screw. When it dives, its flotation sac collapses. I love Buizel because it reminds me of Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog and is an awesome Pokemon from 4th generation. Just look at it. It just looks so cute and friendly. And then it eventually evolves into Floatzel, which is also classified as a Sea Weasel Pokemon. It floats using its well-developed flotation sac, and it assists in the rescues of drowning people, and also its flotation sac was developed to pursue aquatic prey. Floatzel is awesome because it has a pretty good move pool and is also an excellent baton pass Pokemon, and it most definitely has a solid design. Number 7. Feebas, the Fish Pokemon. Feebas's fins are ragged and tattered from the start of its life. Because of its shoddy appearance, this Pokemon is largely ignored and is capable of living in both the sea and in rivers. In the original Ruby and Sapphire, this thing was so rare that it only spawns on like 3 tiles on the overworld map, and was really hard to evolve because you had to max out its beauty. But now it evolves by trade with a Prism Scale, which now in turn brings me to Milotic. Milotic is the Tender Pokemon and is the evolution of Feebas. Milotic is said to be the most beautiful of all the Pokemon, and it has the power to calm such emotions as anger and hostility to quell bitter feuding. When I first saw this Pokemon, I was like, Feebas evolves into this? This just proves you should never judge a book by its cover. Number 6. Carvanha, the Savage Pokemon. If anything invades Carvanha's territory, it will swarm and tear at the intruder with its pointed fangs. On its own, however, this Pokemon turns suddenly timid. Carvanha is supposed to be like its real-life counterpart, the Piranha, and I really love the color choices they use for its design. Sharpedo, the Brutal Pokemon. Nicknamed the Bully of the Sea, Sharpedo is widely feared, and its cruel fangs grow back immediately if they snap off. Just one of these Pokemon can thoroughly tear apart a super tanker. This Pokemon is really cool because it's a shark and a torpedo, and sharks also happen to be one of my favorite animals. This Pokemon was so iconic in Sapphire because of Team Aqua's leader Archie, and I was really excited to see it get a Mega Evolution in ORAS. Number 5. Magikarp, the Fish Pokemon. Magikarp is virtually useless in battle as it can only splash around and as a result is considered to be weak. However, it's actually a very hardy Pokemon that can survive in any body of water no matter how polluted. Even though it's basically being useless, there are still some strategies you can use to troll your opponent. but when Magikarp evolves, you better watch out because its evolution is a real true powerhouse. Gyarados, the atrocious Pokemon. Once Gyarados goes on a rampage, its ferociously violent blood doesn't calm until it has burned everything down, and there's even records of this Pokemon's rampages lasting a whole month. Gyarados even has a Mega Evolution that makes it a lot more intimidating and causes it to lose its secondary typing of flying and gains the Dark type. Number 4. Piplup, the penguin Pokemon. Because it is very proud, it hates accepting food from people. Its thick down guards it from cold. Piplup is the water starter from 4th generation and is just absolutely freaking adorable. And very fun fact, my first playthrough on Diamond, the very first Piplup I chose was also shiny. How about those odds? Piplup, also the penguin Pokemon and the evolution to Piplup. It lives alone away from the others. Apparently every one of them believes it is the most important. Talk about a Pokemon with a huge ego. Empoleon, the Emperor Pokemon, and final evolution of Piplup. The 3 horns that extend from its beak attest to its power, and the leader has the biggest horns. This Pokemon also has the Steel typing, which is very good against Fairy types. Number 3. Mareanie, the Brutal Star Pokemon. It's found crawling on beaches and sea floors, and the coral that grows on Corsola's head is as good as a 5-star banquet to this Pokemon. This Pokemon is really cute but also really brutal. This Pokemon can only be found if you enter an SOS battle with Corsola, and even then its encounter rate is pretty low. Fun fact, this is the very first Pokemon caught by James in the Pokemon Sun and Moon anime. Toxapex, also known as the Brutal Star Pokemon and the evolution to Mareanie. Toxapex crawls along the ocean floor on its 12 legs as it leaves a trail of Corsola bits scattered in its wake. This thing has such a cool design, but it's also kind of creepy because it eats Corsolas. And it's also really good in competitive play. Number 2. Suicune, the Aurora Pokemon and also known as the North Winds. Suicune embodies the compassion of a pure spring of water, and it runs across the land with gracefulness. This Pokemon has the power to purify any amount of dirty water. If I could have a water dog, you best believe it would be a Suicune. Personally, in my opinion, I like this one the most out of the 3 legendary dogs because it's so elegant. Suicune just seems like it's filled with so much wisdom, and it was a really big pain to capture in Crystal and as well as the Gold and Silver remix. Fun fact, Suicune has made many appearances throughout the Johto series anime and a couple of its movies. Number 1. My absolute favorite water-type Pokemon is Totodile, and it's also my favorite Pokemon in general. Totodile is the big jaw Pokemon, and despite the smallness of its body, Totodile's jaws are very powerful, and while the Pokemon may think it's just playful nipping, its bite is powerful enough to cause some serious injury. Totodile was so funny in the Pokemon anime as it was always dance, and it's also just a cute and lovable little crocodile. Croconaw is also the big jaw Pokemon and evolution of Totodile. Once Croconaw has clamped its jaws on you, it will absolutely not let go because its tips and fangs are forked back and they become impossible to remove while they have sunk in. Feraligatr, also the big jaw Pokemon and final evolution of Totodile. Feraligatr intimidates its foes by opening its huge mouth, and in battle it will kick the ground hard with its thick and powerful hind legs to charge at the foe at incredible speed. Well, that concludes my list of top 10 favorite water-type Pokemon. I hope you all enjoyed, and don't forget to leave a like and hit that subscribe button. I look forward to seeing the Bacon Nation grow. As for now, I will see you all next time, so stay crispy, my Bacon Nation friends, and everyone else that has watched this video.
Thank you,